Hello and welcome. Thank you very much for joining me, naturalnews.tv and my YouTube channel. My name is Magnus Mulliner. I'm going to make a statement. See if you can find some truth in it. Where your intention goes, energy flows. Is that true? Can you think back in your life where you thought about something, you then took on a certain behaviour and or actions, and then you got the results you wanted? Isn't that amazing? You probably never even congratulated yourself for achieving that or getting to where you wanted to go. And then there might be those of you listening to this recording that set out on a mission but didn't get to where you wanted to go. And I find it interesting that perhaps the result of that was, I liken it to this: if you treated me like you treated yourself, you'd be locked up. So it's socially acceptable for us to mentally, emotionally abuse ourselves and continue with life. Obviously teaching others how to do that. Not a genius formula. The first thing to do is to become mindful. So what I thought of sharing with you, and you already know this stuff, like I often say on these recordings, I teach you absolutely nothing, but I'll remind you those things that you may have forgotten. So if you're not happy with your life, and let's say that you're in a bad relationship, and I often say this, I'm using these terms so you understand, but Shakespeare said there's nothing either good or bad, but thinking makes it so. But it's a label. But let's say you're in a relationship that's not conducive. Let's say you're in a relationship that might be abusive. Or perhaps you've had that kind of relationship. I'm sure you took 50% responsibility, or maybe you didn't, maybe you blamed others. But my point is this, that your thoughts will eventually lead to your behaviour and actions, which will then get the results you're getting. If you do not want the results you're getting or the outcomes, then obviously you're required to change this. And for most of you, you might say, well, I never co-created or wanted to have this relationship. I would probably challenge that. And the reason for it is because the subconscious mindset is far more powerful. I'll give you a case in point. I'm just going to relate to women in general, that generally as they grow up, a key figure in their life is their father. So if you do not love and or respect your father, and or you would not think of marrying yourself, as in loving yourself for who you truly are, the chances are, through your indoctrinations and programmings, you will co-create somebody in your life who you perhaps do not want. So the subconscious mindset are those kind of programs, things that we have been given by our parents, our peers, our teachers, well, in our social mirror, our environment. So if you've had that kind of relationship that hasn't been wonderful, then it's in the past, let it go. What have you learned from it? What would you do differently? And it obviously starts with you, because the external is but a reflection of what's going on internally. So unless you are mindful about your thoughts, because thoughts are energy and thoughts become things. So the wonderful thing from this moment forward, let the past be what it is. That's why it's called the past, it's gone, let it go. But from right now, you can take responsibility. You can respond differently by knowing that your thinking, if we're going to give it a label, let's call it stinking thinking, hasn't served you. Now for some of you listening to this recording, maybe you're very successful and know that's happened, and that's wonderful. Then teach that to others. Pass that information on. You might not even be conscious of the fact that you're successful. And success can be measured in so many different ways. It's not just about your bank balance or the fact that you're the CEO of a company making X, Y, and Z dollars or pounds. That's not what I regard success is. Success really is closer to knowing who you are, that's what wisdom is, and literally living a happy, healthy life. That's what I would regard as success. But there are obviously different strands to it. But in this recording, all I want you to do is to become mindful of your thoughts, because those ultimately lead you to where you want to be. So if you do not want something in your life, think about this, or get emotionally about it, and then obviously it'll grow bigger. I mean, Stanley Kubrick once said, and this isn't verbatim, but if you can talk about your problems intelligently enough, you can create the consoling illusion of having mastered them. Why would you want to master your problems? And then people do that, they'll talk to others about it. Oh, did you know this happened? Well, here's the deal as I know it. 10% is what happens to you. Bang, you get knocked down. But 90% is what you do with what happens to you. You get back up again. And that's the exciting journey, to be able to overcome the adversities, the curveballs that are sent your way. These things that happen, but let them go. Because over 98% of the thoughts, emotions, feelings, and everything that you have in your life right now, they're not even yours. So let them go. Unless, of course, they serve you in the moment, and then let them go. Does this make sense? So my invite is for you just to become clear, to become mindful that if you are not happy with where you are, whether you've lost something like your home or your job or whatever else, and I would challenge that because you weren't meant to have it then. Everything occurs exactly on time. That's reality. Fight reality, and that will add stress to you, and then you will teach that to others. By asking smarter questions, you can get yourself closer to where you would like to be. But for most of you listening to this recording, I would probably make the statement that you don't know where you want to be. Well, that's okay. Ask yourself the question, what is my deepest passion or purpose right now? What could I do that will bring me joy and happiness and that does not lead to failure? But don't focus on failure. Whatever you focus on, that's where you will go. The quality of your life, the quality of my life, is purely designed the result of what I focus on. But most people are not aware of what they're focusing on, and they're getting more of what they don't want, and what you resist will persist. Quite a bit in this recording. So I started off with making a statement, only you know it's truthful. But where your intention goes, energy will flow. And if you're not happy with that, change this, change your behaviour, change your actions, your deeds, and you'll find yourself in a different outcome, a different reality, a different result. If you're not happy, come back to this again. I often say this, and I sincerely mean this, but create to yourself a fantastic day, because you can do that right now. You can create whatever you want by directing this. My love to you all, and bye for now.